Chapter 1. No service. Marcus checked his phone for the 5th time. No bars, just an empty desert horizon stretching in all directions. He sat in the passenger seat of Nick's beat-up Jeep, windows down, wind whipping in dry heat. Behind them, Rachel and Kim dozed off with their backpacks between them, heads bumping softly as the dirt road rattled. "Still think this place is worth the trip?" Marcus asked. Nick smirked, steering one-handed. "My cousin says there's a cave system up here no one's mapped. It's on old Navajo ground. He called it sacred. But like, the cool kind. Sounds cursed," Marcus muttered. The GPS blipped, then shut off completely. They were already off the grid. Chapter 2. The sign. They set up camp just before sundown, 4 tents in a half circle, tucked against a jagged cliffside beneath the looming ridge. The sun bled over the horizon in a molten orange haze. Wind whispered low. That's when Kim found it, half buried beneath a tumbleweed near a sandstone outcrop. A cracked wooden sign. "Do not enter. They walk at dusk." Letters carved by hand, worn nearly smooth. Rachel laughed. "Okay. That's like horror movie 101. Nick posed beside it for Marcus' camera. "Add creepy warning signs to the thumbnail," he grinned. "Views, baby." They all laughed. The dessert did not. Chapter 3. First night. The fire popped and hissed. Marcus flew his drone over the canyon while Rachel passed out beers. Nick tuned his guitar. Kim sat a little apart, watching the shadows move across the cliffs. At 11:04 p.m., they heard a whistle. Not a bird, not the wind. A long, deliberate trill from just beyond the light. Then a voice. Nick, come here." Rachel paled. "That sounded like me," she whispered. "I used to call my dog like that." Another voice, from the opposite direction. "Rachel, help." It sounded like Nick, but he was right there. They sat silent around the fire 4 hours, too afraid to move. Chapter 4. Shadows on the ridge. The next morning, nobody said a word about what they heard. Nick looked tired. Kim's hands shook when she poured her instant coffee. Rachel pretended to have slept. Marcus checked the drone footage from the night before. The desert was quiet until timestamp 1:13 a.m. A shape appeared on the ridge. It stood perfectly still, human-sized, no features. Then it crawled backwards into the rocks, feet overhead, like something rewinding time. "Must be a glitch," he lied. He deleted the file, but too late. Rachel had seen it. "Play it again," she said. He didn't. Chapter 5. Footprints. They decided to hike, take their minds off the weirdness. Marcus brought his camera. Nick brought a flask. Kim pointed out something odd. First barefoot tracks in the sand. Too long, toes too far apart, deep in the heel, like something heavy and crouched. They followed the prints until they abruptly stopped beneath a rock ledge. No exit tracks. Just gone. "Big animal maybe," Rachel offered. Marcus shook his head. "Animals don't vanish mid-walk." Then they saw it high on the ridge. A silhouette, watching. Nick raised a hand. It waved back, slowly. But it didn't mimic him. It mocked him. Chapter 6. The Whistler returns at night. The wind picked up. Rachel zipped her tent tight and turned her flashlight on. The batteries died within seconds. Nick was already snoring. Kim had her earbuds in. Marcus sat up, staring at the stars. None of them aligned right. Then came the whistling. Long, wrong, like someone dragging a tune across broken lungs. Then a whisper from the trees. "Rochelle." She froze. It sounded like her late father. Same voice, same drawl, but had died 6 years ago. She unzipped the tent and stepped into the cold. "Daddy," she called. From the dark, her own voice whispered back, "Rachel, come see what I found." Chapter 7. Something wore her voice. Rachel didn't return that night. They searched until sunrise. Nick nearly fell down a ravine screaming her name. She just walked off. Kim asked, "In the middle of the desert?" Marcus found her footprints leading into the rocks, then vanishing again, same as the others. Then they heard it. Her voice, from behind the ridge. "Guys, I think Kim lost." It sounded like Rachel, exactly like her, but the tone didn't match the words. The voice was smiling, when the message should have been scared. It said again, "Guys, I think Kim lost." Copying itself, practicing. Nick ran toward it. Marcus grabbed his arm. "She's gone," he said. "That's not her." Chapter 8. Night of the Mimic. They kept the fire blazing until dawn. Something circled them. It walked like a person, but too heavy each step sunk the sand deep. At 3:12 a.m., Rachel returned, or something that looked like her. She stepped into the firelight smiling, barefoot, hair matted with red dust. "Where have you been?" Kim whispered. "I got turned around," Rachel said. "I'm fine now." Marcus pointed the flashlight at her. Her pupils didn't contract. Then she tilted her head the exact way Kim had done an hour ago. Then again, and again, like she was learning the motion. Chapter 9. Breaking point. Nick refused to believe it wasn't her. He took her hand. She smiled, but Marcus had seen it, her shadow cast the wrong shape. When he looked directly, it was Rachel. When he glanced at the edge of his vision, it was taller, bent, moving like skin hung from wire. That night, Rachel screamed, not once, over and over. Perfectly timed, each scream identical, like a recording. When Marcus tried to film it, the camera glitched out, dozens of distorted faces flashing through the static. He looked up. She was gone. Only her skin remained, draped over a tree branch like a coat. Chapter 10. The branches bleed. Kim screamed when she saw the skin. It was empty, but still warm, still shaped like Rachel's body. Her face twisted in a final, fake smile. Marcus backed away. This isn't death, it's imitation." Nick vomited behind the rocks. They tried to burn the remains, but the fire wouldn't catch. The flames curled away from the flesh, like something invisible deflected it. Later that night, something moved in the trees, high up, higher than any person should reach. It dropped Rachel's jawbone onto Marcus' sleeping bag. A message, or a promise. Chapter 11. Carvings in the stone. They hiked at dawn, aiming for the old trail out. Every step felt heavier. The shadows grew longer, even in the morning light. Kim found the carvings, first dozens of them, etched into the canyon walls. They weren't English, not exactly. Symbols, claw marks, spirals. But when Marcus stared too long, he understood one phrase. It takes the voice, then the shape, then the soul. "Who carved these?" Nick asked. Marcus swallowed. They weren't carvings. Not all of them. Some are fingernail marks. Chapter 12. It wears a friend's smile at dusk. Nick walked off. He didn't say why. He just said, "I heard her. She's in the rocks." Marcus and Kim followed him halfway, then stopped. In the canyon, they heard to Nick voices arguing with each other. "Let me go. You're not real. In the real one." Then silence. Nick came back an hour later, smiling, too calmly. Marcus whispered, "How did you get out?" Nick shrugged. "I tricked it." He sat down, ate a protein bar, but he chewed too slowly, counting the motion, imitating. Kim didn't sleep that night. Neither did Marcus. Chapter 13. The man in the cave. They tried to climb the eastern ridge at sunrise. Halfway up, Marcus spotted smoke rising from a narrow split in the rocks. A cave. Inside, a small camp. Dusty sleeping bag. Torn journal. Rotting meat in a rusted tin. And bones. So many bones. But the journal was mostly intact. Handwritten entries. Dated 3 years ago. Notes from another group. Marcus read aloud. "It's not one thing. It's many. It changes based on who you miss, who you fear. If you answer it, you invite it closer. If you speak to it, you give it your name." They left the cave in silence. Chapter 14. The voice game. Nick grew stranger by the hour. He didn't blink much anymore. His speech felt rehearsed, a beat too slow. At night, he sat facing the fire, whispering into voices. One was his, the other, Kim's. "I'm thirsty, so drink. Where's the water?" "You already had it." Marcus tried to talk to Kim. She wouldn't meet his eyes. Finally, she whispered, "Nick's not Nick, but if we call it out, it'll wear us next." From the tent, Nick called, "Hey Marcus." "Kim, come here. I found something." His voice was flat, like a doll repeating words. Chapter 15. Not all of him left. Kim snapped at dawn. She grabbed Marcus and ran into the canyon, screaming that Nick was sleeping in her skin. They didn't stop. until they reached the old riverbed, dry, but lined with ancient stones carved in spiral patterns. Marcus dared to look back. Nick stood at the canyon mouth. He wasn't breathing. His chest didn't rise. He didn't blink. And now he wasn't alone. Rachel stood beside him. Her mouth moved, but not to speak, to stretch, like it was trying to learn how to grin again. Kim whispered, "They're nesting." Marcus asked, "In what?" She replied, "In us." Chapter 16. The storm that night. The desert broke. A freak storm rolled in, wind screaming through the canyons, thunder echoing like war drums. But no rain, just dust. Red, choking, clinging dust. Kim and Marcus huddled in a shallow cave. The wind spoke in voices they knew. "Kimberly, you forgot your brother. You let him drown." She covered her ears. Marcus heard his father, still scared of the dark. "Boy, that thing in the closet, it's still hungry." Then laughter, childlike, but broken. A voice copying joy. Kim sobbed. "They're not voices, they're hooks." And the wind was full of them. Chapter 17. The split at dawn. Marcus found claw marks on his arm. He didn't remember sleep or dreaming. Kim was gone. In her place, two of her, both pale, both terrified, both saying the same thing. "It's copying me. Don't trust her." They mirrored every move, every breath. He shouted, "Tell me something only the real Kim would know." One of them smiled. The real one wouldn't play that game. She stepped into the sun. Her shadow flickered antlers. Briefly. Wrong. He picked the other Kim. She cried as she hugged him. But behind him, something laughed softly in her voice. Chapter 18. The hollow camp. They stumbled back to camp that evening. It was abandoned. No signs of Nick. No gear. Just the fire ring, now cold. But the tents were back up, fully pitched, exactly as they were on day one. Even the bags were packed. Marcus looked around. The food was untouched. The flashlights were freshly charged, as if they'd just arrived. Kim whispered, "We've been reset." Then a voice behind them made it just in time. Huh, it was Nick. Clean, fresh clothes, normal smile, holding the map, exactly like he'd looked 3 days ago. Only his eyes were wrong. Too shiny, too black, too full. Chapter 19. The skin nest. Marcus ran. He didn't wait, didn't ask questions. Nick's voice followed him, still smiling, still calling friendly. "Hey man, where you going?" "Don't be like that." Kim didn't follow. Marcus crested a ridge and dropped into the basin on the other side where the land dipped into a sunken grove. There, he found it. The nest, dozens of skins, stitched together, draped across trees like drying laundry. Some still twitched, some breathed. He backed away, stepped on a bone. From behind a nearby trunk, his own face looked back at him. Then he whispered, tired of running. Chapter 20. What the elders said that night. Marcus found a trail marker, an ancient stone circle, buried under dust. A Navajo sun symbol etched in the center. Beside it, a half-burned notebook, left in a Ziploc, dated 1972. Inside were warnings. They were once men, but they took too much, drank too deep, broke the circle. They hunger not for meat but for memory. They wear your voice until it forgets it was ever yours. Don't say their names. Don't answer them. Don't listen. And at the bottom of the page, if one follows you home, burn everything, even yourself. Chapter 21. Kim. Repeated. Marcus returned to camp. Kim was waiting, but there were now 3 of her, all identical, all sobbing. "You left me, you left me, you left me." He shut his eyes, covered his ears. One Kim grabbed him, screamed in his face with a mouth that didn't move right. The second walked into the fire and didn't burn. The third whispered, "You're the copy now, Marcus. You just haven't realized it yet." He stabbed that one with a tent stake. It burst into black moths. The other 2 disappeared, and he was alone again. But something clapped in the woods, slowly, approving. Chapter 22. The ridge opens by now. Marcus didn't know how long he'd been out there. Time unraveled in knots. Days, hours. He walked north until the trees thinned and found himself back at camp again. Same stones, same fire pit, same Kim, waiting, smiling. "You okay?" she asked. He didn't answer. Instead, he stared at the ridge behind her where the shadows split apart, like torn fabric. A black seam in the world. A figure stepped through. Not Rachel, not Nick, not Kim. A shape with too many teeth, and eyes like mirrors filled with flies. Chapter 23. The true face. The thing screamed. Not with one voice, with all of them. Nick, Rachel, Kim, even Marcus, layered and distorted. Like a choir fed through a meat grinder, it unfolded, tall as a tree, skin stitched from memories. One arm ended in fingers made of tongues. The other held a spine like a whip. Marcus ran. It followed, gliding instead of walking, phasing through trees like mist through cloth. He reached the cliff's edge. Below, jagged rocks and silence. Behind, a monster of his own reflections. It whispered, "Fall or follow." Chapter 24. The last voice. Marcus didn't jump. He turned, faced it, and spoke one word: no. The creature hissed. Language crumbled in its mouth. It reached for him with its 1,000 stolen voices. He grabbed the lighter from his pack, drenched his jacket in bug spray, and lit the flame. The wind roared. So did the thing. But fire is the one truth it couldn't wear. The stitched skin shrieked. The false faces peeled. The ridge cracked like eggshell. It burned, not like flesh, but like lies catching fire. When the smoke cleared, only Marcus remained, and ashes shaped like footprints walking away. Chapter 25. The voice that answered. He wandered for hours, days, weeks, maybe. Finally, he found a ranger station, banged on the door until someone opened it. He said one word: help. They took him in, fed him, gave him a blanket. An officer asked his name. Marcus. He passed out. When he woke, he was in a hospital bed. A nurse leaned in. "You're safe now." He smiled. But when he spoke, it was Nick's voice. The end.